Well, the year is over and we've wrapped things up here at the Bethany Lutheran College Theatre, and as you can see, the stage is empty. And it's been a wild and crazy year, and I guess I would call the beginning of all that wild ride is when lockdown happened, when Treasure Island got canceled and we had a big set on this stage and we didn't know what to do with it. And so then we had to kind of make stuff up. So just to recap, we decided once the students came here, okay, first show, we're going to do it out in a tent. So we rented a big giant tent, kind of a big top play, and we did a public domain show called Black Eyed Susan so that we could put that up on YouTube because we didn't know what to expect for audiences. And then the show after that was Ricky Tikki Tavi. We found a script that we could make a YouTube video for. So we've got a video for Ricky Tikki Tavi online as well. And then after that, it was the Theater Physics Christmas radio show. Theater Physics is usually an annual vaudeville review that we do at the very beginning of the year, but we didn't know what to expect. So we did that with a house of, 75 people 4 times. So then what happened in the second semester? Well, we did 4 shows in the second semester. We built a quick box set for Theater Physics. The Theater Physics radio show had a pretty simple box set, and we sort of gave some homage to the Treasure Island set because it had this sort of weathered wood planking on it. So we did weathered wood planking for the Theater Physics show. But then we had to make a decision. We couldn't really spend a lot of money on scenery this year because how do you spend money on scenery when at any moment an actor could get quarantined and your show might not be able to happen? We are not a big enough program to have understudies, so we would have made that happen anyways. If I had to go on stage with a script, that's what we were prepared to do. If I had to get some faculty members up on stage with a book, we were going to do the show by hook or by crook, and that was the plan. But anyway, so we made this set for Theater Physics, and then we kept using that set for the next 3 shows. Right after the Theater Physics radio show, we did a musical review of Gilbert and Sullivan numbers. And as you look at some of this footage, you can see that it's still that same box set that we had, but it was kind of dressed up to look a little bit more like the Savoy Theatre in England. And so, not that it looks exactly like it, but it kind of tips its hat that direction. Kind of looks a little bit like the same sort of style. And then over here to the side of the house, we had Queen Victoria. Our costumer, Emily Kimball, played an excellent Queen Victoria for that musical review. The musical review, we named it I Have a Song to Sing. And again, in our house, we were able to have 25% capacity. And then it was on to a show that I wrote over the summer called The Art of Being Vague that was directed by Lee Schauer, who is a senior directing student here at Bethany. And I give Lee just a ton of credit because it just sort of seemed like things were falling all over the place. COVID is a hard time to direct a show for anybody, but if you're a student, it's really hard. We had some just major COVID issues. Not that people were really getting a lot of COVID, but that everybody was getting quarantined. And even one of my main actors who did come up COVID positive was quarantined until opening night. And so we had to Zoom him in for all of Tech Week.
Okay, that is when I spoke this time. I saw the spotlight, but it was still dark and the music was still going.
So this whole rehearsal is going to be stops and starts tonight because, again, Ezekiel, who is our main narrator, is in quarantine until the night we open. So he's not going to get a chance to be on stage until there's an audience. Okay, so here's the start of the show one more time.
It started from an early age. I hated fish, but I said...
So they've got, the actors on stage are actually taking their cues from Ezekiel, who is broadcasting from his room. And then it just turns out that the campus COVID commanders allowed him out of quarantine just the night before we opened. So we actually did get one rehearsal. But the director of that show, who was a student, wasn't able to see his full cast all together except for 2 times before opening night. Can you believe that? Then our third show this semester was an experimental piece by another senior directing student that we had. Again, we made use of the same 3 walls, this very simple box set for that show as well. That particular student made a media arts capstone out of that project too.
Landrum, I'm done with this investigation. I am done with you.
Answer the questions and we'll all be free to go. I know you killed your husband. This is ridiculous. Just admit it to me. I know you killed him. We will give what we need from you, whether you want to give it to us or not. You will cooperate and you will give us answers. I have had enough of your nonsense.
So that was it this spring for the theater, and we made a stage, a small stage, kind of like we did for Black Eyed Susan, but then we moved it out into our lobby, and so we then had another musical review. This time it was called the Musical Theater Cocktail of Friendship and Song, and we did it out here in the gallery. This is our art gallery. No art is hanging on here on the walls right now, but we put up a stage right here, and this is where the play took place. We had this whole place just lit up. It was really pretty. And the music sounded really cool in here too. That kind of capped it off for us. So one way or the other, we got our theater season in, and one thing we're very proud about here at Bethany is it was all live. We had all of it done in front of real people. We were able to make YouTube videos of 6 of the 7 shows that we did. So it was a weird year, but was it all a complete loss? No, we learned a lot of stuff, and I think that that's one thing too about the creative process that I love, is that sometimes when you get lemons, you learn how to make lemonade. Here is where we put the big tent. Would I do a big tent show again? Yeah, that was cool. You know, there was reason to do it, and so I think that there was an awful lot for us to be able to learn from. But was it disappointing to have small houses and few people in the audience? Definitely. We want to do shows for full houses. This is what we want for our actors. This is what we want for our students, and we want people to come and see the stuff that we do. And was it disappointing to have just a small set on our stage? Yes. I am really looking forward to going full bore again. I'd love to just go great guns and do the scenery that we are used to doing and that we've sort of become known for. This is a small theater. This is sort of a small community, but Bethany has sort of a reputation for doing some cool stuff on stage. We want to be able to do the cool stuff. Do we have plans for next year? Well, that's tough. That's a difficult question. We have a big playwriting culture here at Bethany. I would say one thing COVID has done is it maybe has accelerated that a little bit. Our costumer and now my colleague, full-time colleague in the department is now Emily Kimball. She has now partnered with Maren Thompson, who is our fine arts coordinator at the moment, and they have created an adaptation for Hans Christian Andersen's Snow Queen. I want to do a whole set. We're kind of getting to that place where we can actually open up and do stuff. So I'm imagining trees, I'm imagining sliding panels, I'm imagining projections and cool scrim effects and all the rest of that stuff. Wintry, cool, interesting Snow Queen sort of stuff. You know, that's something that we're planning for. Here's the deal though. We don't want to do that by halves. So if we can't do Snow Queen the way we want to do Snow Queen, then we have to have a plan B. My plan A, I have the spring slot next year. I'm planning Pinocchio. My son Hans and I had fun adapting The Legend of Sleepy Hollow a couple years ago, and now we're working on Collodi's Pinocchio. This is not the Disney version of Pinocchio. This is the actual Carlo Collodi version of Pinocchio, and we are trying to be faithful to the book much more. And so we're creating an adaptation of Pinocchio. And so we would like to do an interesting commedia dell'arte sort of production of Pinocchio, but that wouldn't be something that we want to do by halves either. So we have to sort of have a plan B for next year, and that's not easy either. And so it's still hard to plan, but we're doing our best. We want to make next year cool. We want to make it cool for our students, but we want to make it cool for us too, because we're artists, we're creative. We want to do creative stuff. But one thing about the creative process is this whole idea of coming up with solutions, creating answers to problems. And I think that this year we were able to do some stuff that was actually really learnable and actually helped us to understand kind of ways how to snake through that valley. And it wasn't easy, and it was hard. This was a hard year to do theater. But we are very proud that we did 7 productions, all of them live, all of them in front of real audiences, real people who came to see our shows. And we did all of that through COVID-19. And we're really, really happy about that. We want to get back to normal though, and we want you to be a part of it. And so we hope that those of you who live in the area will come to see some of the stuff that we've got cooking for next year. And we're creating original works too, so we're going to put those things on YouTube, and we hope that you, the YouTube audience, will take a look at those things too. There'll be more on all that, so hope that it all goes. You guys, if you like this channel, my name is Pete, and this is, it's a channel about creativity and our creative toolbox and all the different things that go into the creative toolbox. And if you like this kind of stuff, please give this video a like. That means that YouTube sees this video and the algorithm goes, hey, good job, and perhaps more people will see this content. Trying to make this content to be helpful to people like you, and if you found that this channel was helpful to you, maybe think about subscribing to the channel too. The channel is called Hey Pete, and this is called It's a Creative Life. Until the next video, you guys, I hope you guys are safe and have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.